Alright, let's do this one last time. One last fucking time. Hit that goddamn intro. Hey, what's going on, you degenerates of the lesser internet? Welcome back to my living room and gaming channel. I forgot my saying. Welcome back to my living room and gaming channel, where I hope you will follow me on a journey of debauchery and madness as we discover gaming together. Real quick, I'm gonna keep this short. I'm not gonna drone on it forever before I hop into the shit I've been playing, but this is the last official What Have You Been Playing. This is probably... I don't like to promise shit, especially bad news, but it's time. It's time to sunset the channel, the gaming content. It's just something that's been a long time coming. I got other things to do, games to play, bitches to fuck, drinks to drink, all that good stuff. You know how it goes. The experience has not been very rewarding long term, but I have had some really good ups and some good interaction, and I thank you all. So, I'm not leaving forever. If you like my stupid fucking face, I got a second channel. Most of my most loyal followers know of my second channel already. It's in my channels page on YouTube. But if you didn't catch it, I'll have a link in the description, and I'll pin top comment and all that good shit, linking directly to it if you want to continue to see some of my content. Over on my other off-topic channel, that's where I do unedited short clips. I throw shit up at random, talk about whatever, crazy stuff, politics, everything in between, and it's not gaming related. I'm going to continue my What Have You Been Playing segments over there, and that will probably be my only gaming related content over on that channel, but you know, the spirit of Turbo and gaming will live on over there. Don't know what else to say. It's been a long time coming, and it just is what it is. But I'm not going to be leaving forever. You will still see my stupid fucking face if you so desire. So go ahead and check out the links. Go subscribe to my other channel. Without further ado, let's dive the fuck on in. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk about the last What Have You Been Playing officially here on the channel. It's been a good month. It's been a good month since I last popped one of these up. It's been a good month since I last did a video, period. It's been a while. So I'm a little rusty. Got the haircut. Shaved all the weird shit, as you can see. I'm looking clean, looking clean. I clean up pretty good, don't I? I just shaved fucking 10 years off my face. People have been telling me how young I look, you know, without all the fucking shit. I'll still rock the beard. I'll still rock the chops. I was kind of a fan of the mustache, even though it was creepy. But I'll miss the hair on the top the most. I do look better with it short. I just do. Completely uncombed, and it looks fucking cool. Completely uncombed. I did do my hair myself. For a while there, I was doing my hair when it was real short last year, touching it up every couple of weeks. I got good at it, so yeah, I give myself my own haircut. What do you think? Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. You want to see the back? The back was trouble. Not perfect, but it is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, I've been playing some fucking games. Just because I'm sunsetting, I'm not saying I'm quitting YouTube. I'm sunsetting this channel. That's all. I'm sunsetting this channel. I'm still gonna be making videos over on my other shit. I'm gonna be honest, not too heavy into the gaming content. Although, on that channel, my motto is I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. I don't have to... I mean, I already don't reel it in as much as I should here on this channel, but I do try. to be presentable a little bit. Over there, though, all bets are off. I'll say anything I fucking want. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck if my fucking YouTube channel gets fucking taken down over there. My second channel. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. So, look forward to that. But, that being said, I'm not stopping gaming at all. At all. I'm a lifetime gamer. I've never went through a phase in my life. Never been through a phase where I was like, am I gonna quit gaming? Never. So, I'm going to keep pushing forward, and I'm still going to be playing games, which means there will always be a what have you been playing, in some shape or form. My fucking toes are ice cubes, and they fucking hurt, because I got diabetes, so let me just go get my, slippers real quick. God damn. Had to get these. Why are they so dirty on the fucking bottom? I don't go outside in them ever. They're strictly indoor slippers. Alright, let's see what we got on the docket. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games I'm going to talk about. Some of them longer than others. Some of them I'm still playing currently. But let's do it. You will be pleased to know, first up on the list, we'll talk about Skyrim. I pop in games from time to time. And I'll play whatever I want. My schedule's a little sporadic. I have played and beat and completed Skyrim multiple times now. My history with it is, I got it for the 360, and I got every achievement in that game except for one. I might go back at some point in the future for the 360 version of Skyrim and get the last achievement I'm missing. The one I'm missing is the Oblivion Walker achievement. That one's the bane of my existence. I know there's other ones that... No, that one's pretty much the one you gotta look out for. That's the trap in Skyrim, because that is a 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 hour time sink. 100 hour time sink in Skyrim to get the Oblivion Walker achievement. Let me explain. To get the Oblivion Walker achievement, you need to collect, I think it is 15 Daedric artifacts. And they each have a quest associated with them. Now, with some finagling, there is a total of, I think, 17 Daedric artifacts in the game. What makes this achievement so difficult is not only the time sink, some of these quests you can't even unlock and do them until you're level 30. And some of them are very difficult and hard. Some of them are like level 5 or level 10 quests. If you do them as soon as you are able, you will get your ass kicked. Because of the leveling and the way it works in your class build, it can be really... A good example would be the Azura's Star. Fucking, I'm all itchy and shit. The Azura's Star, Daedric artifact. That one is pretty tough because at the end of that quest, you're forced into like this realm. Where you have to fight Daedra, and they just rush you, and they're pretty high level, and they're melee driven. And so depending on your class build, you get your ass handed to you, and it just sucks. It just sucks. There's a couple others as well, but this achievement fucking sucks because it's a huge time sink. You have to collect 15 of these things and do each of their quests associated with them. And like I said, they don't even unlock until, later. You can't just go and do them at your leisure. You have to be of a certain level, and a lot of them have prerequisites you got to do, NPCs you got to talk with, etc., etc., etc. Long story short, there's a lot of ways to fuck up your quests. There's NPCs that could die, and it's constantly gnawing at you the whole fucking time. You could revert to older saves to try to save some stuff, erasing 10 or 15 hours of gameplay if you fuck something up, but it's hard to tell exactly where you fucked up. It's just super stressful. It's super stressful, and it is the only achievement on the Xbox 360 that I didn't get. I had to re-roll the dice and do another playthrough. For my original 360 playthrough, there were 2 quests that I missed. 2 quests. Now, you need 15 artifacts, and I said there's 17 of them you could get. Let me explain. There's 2 quests in particular that you can cheat. There's 2 quests in particular that you can cheat to get. You could double up. One of them is... Fuck, I am an itchy hoe today. One of them is the Ring of Hersine / the Savior's Hide. Now, both of these are a Daedric artifact, but you could only get... Oh my god. So there's guides and stuff. There's guides that say certain ones don't count. There's a couple of quests where you get 1 of 2 items. Like in this quest in particular, the werewolf quest, you could get the Savior's Hide or the Ring of Hersine. And I believe this one in particular both count as a Daedric artifact. Both of them count. And there's a way to get both of them. You have to like either kill someone or let them live. You could let them live, get the reward, and then go back and kill them, and then force the dialogue that automatically triggers when you kill them, as if you didn't complete the quest already, and then get that artifact too. I did that. So just in case something went wrong, I had 2 of them. But it's unclear still if they count. It counts. It counts, because the achievement popped for me before I did all the quests. Before I did them all. Then there's another one, the Mask of Clavicus Vile. You could get his mask, or you could get the axe. If you try to get the axe, that doesn't count as a Daedric artifact. It just doesn't. And that's stupid, and it sucks. So, and then there's glitched quests. In my first playthrough, all the way back on the 360, with this one, I got 2 quests that glitched on me. And I went through and I completed all of them, trying to get this one. I did not double up on any of the artifacts, so I wasn't able to get any freebies, and I straight up just couldn't get 2 of them. One of them that I couldn't get was the Mace of Molag Bal. If I remember correctly, that quest glitched on me. I left the house of horrors, prematurely, and the game prevented me from going back in again. Because there's like an NPC that like goes in there, and you go in there with him, and the door's locked. No key or anything could open it. And when I exited in the middle of the quest, the NPC that triggers you going in there wouldn't. It just locked me out. It just fucking locked me out, and there's nothing I could fucking do. And I fucked that up really early in the game. I remember thinking, I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna leave. Wait until I fucking get my shit in order. Wait until I'm ready to, go for some of these quests, return later. I thought I would just walk back into the house and the quest would pick up where I left off. Nope, the house was fucking locked. Another one I fucking fucked up was I got hostile with the orc clan that you gotta do for... Man, that one was brutal. That one is brutal. Because you got to be like level 10 or something like that. And if you go at level 10, you got to fight a lot of giants. And those are tough fucking creatures. You could take them out no problem at like level 30, 40, 50, but at level 10, man, you are pushing it. And you got to fight a lot of giants. That one is brutal. That being said, I got hostile with the clan, and when you're hostile with the quest giver, that's it. You can't even get the quest. So that's what happened. So the point of my long-winded rant here is I was never able to get this achievement back in the 360 days. I got everything. I got everything in the game. Even, you know, all the DLC and everything. I'm just gonna have to... I'm gonna have to restart another playthrough and go through the game again on the 360. That's what I'm gonna have to do. That's not in the cards soon. That might be a project I'm gonna do way later. It kind of seems weird, but I love Skyrim and I love the Elder Scrolls, and it's definitely something that is on my purview. Definitely something on the docket. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. I don't have any hardcore plans to do it, but I could see myself setting aside some time at one point going, you know what, let's do it. Let's get fucking this achievement on the 360. I don't think this game is back compat. So I'm gonna have to actually plug in my 360 and do this shit, which is going to be... If it was anything like last time, it's going to be a huge pain in the ass. A huge fucking pain in the ass to do. Damn. So yeah. Not looking forward to that. That's gonna be the worst part of the whole experience. But anyway... So I got all the achievements in the game on the 360 except for this one. Might go back and do that later. Skyrim for the Skyrim Special Edition for the Xbox One and last gen platforms. I got all the points for that. I didn't just, you know, we're not talking about PlayStation here, we're talking about Xbox. So getting 100%, there's no platinum system for the Xbox, which sucks and it is sorely needed. But I 100% of the game. And I mean 100% of it. I got all the achievements and all the DLC quests, all this, all that. I got everything. I got fucking everything. The worst fucking one to do, like the most pain in the ass, having gone through this game multiple times, multiple fucking times, gotten all the... I've specifically gotten this achievement twice. Once trying to go for 100% on the 360, and then again on the Special Edition. Definitely killing the legendary dragon. That thing has an insane spawn rate. You need to... A lot of guides say it doesn't even appear in the game until after you're level 75. Some guides say 80, some say 70. The truth is, it appears before that. It could appear before that. It's just extremely rare. Like in the fraction of decimals of a single percent. So what I had to do is I had to save scum right before I rolled up on a dragon monument, and it'll spawn in there. And you have to go up there, reload your save multiple times, and just keep doing it. You don't even know if it works, because you spend like an hour of reloading your save, and it's not fucking there. It's like, you don't even know if you're doing it right, or if it's even a possibility. And then you roll up there, and it happens. It's like, there's the legendary dragon, after fucking an hour of reloading saves. And then he's a tough son of a bitch. He's a tough son of a bitch, especially if you're like level 50 or under-leveled. You're not the level 75 that apparently this thing is. That's fucking tough. Gotta have all your potions and spells and shit like that. But I remember doing this, and it was just such a pain in the ass. It's just a huge time sink, reloading. And it's either that or fucking power level to level fucking like 75, right? If I ever 100% this game again, I'm gonna have to do something differently. But no, I did that for the Skyrim Special Edition. And then I played this game again recently. I started last month, in the month of February, towards the beginning of February. And I completed this game at the beginning of this month, in March. Put in... How many hours did I put in? I'm gonna have to like look. I want to say about 160-ish. I want to say this recent playthrough with Skyrim 160 about. And I chose the I don't have a physical version. I was looking for a physical version. It's the first official PlayStation 5 game that I played on my PS5. I played a couple of back compat titles on PS4, going through my backlog. I'm doing that. I'll talk more about that in a second, but I just got an itch to play this fucking thing again, so I said, fuck it. I'll get it on the PS5. I have one. I have a PS5. I already went through and I played the special edition. So the way this works is Skyrim Anniversary Edition came out, and I was super stoked to play it, go through it again, get all the achievements, just do it again, right? Give me some new achievements, it'll be worth it. Give me a reason to go through and play this thing again, because I will. Then it released on the Xbox. And it's a fucking patch. It's a fucking update patch with content. You pay $20 or $30 or however much it was, I forget. And it's when you pop it in, and there is no Skyrim Anniversary Edition. There isn't one. It's Skyrim Special Edition with the Anniversary Edition content patch. It changes the fucking title screen, but it's the same fucking game. If you look on your achievements, or if you're on PlayStation and you look at your trophies, the name of the game is Skyrim Special Edition. It is the last-gen PlayStation 4, Xbox One version of the game. Yeah, it got a Series S and X patch, but it's fucking the old game, just with a content patch. So on the Xbox side of things, what that means is, you know, when it comes to achievements, is it's the same fucking game. I already 100%ed the game already. So that right there took the wind out of all my sails, and I wasn't able to play it the way I wanted to. I put in about 80 hours or something like that. Poked around, had fun, explored some of the content. One of the best things about the Anniversary Edition is how they integrate all the content into the main game, into the main world. Something that they should have done with the other, the DLCs, like the Dragonborn DLC and stuff, like a lot of the Morrowind content items and stuff like that. It would have been great if just the regular world was populated with some of these items. It would have been really cool if, not every time, like they should have fucked with the scalers a little bit, the sliders, but you know, you just kill an enemy and he has a piece of bone mold armor or something like that from Solstheim. That would have been cool in the main game. You don't have to go to Morrowind, the island of Solstheim, in order to get that shit. It just kind of sucks that they kind of just sectioned everything off like that. But they did a really good job of integrating everything and all that content into the main game with the anniversary content. I had fun last time I played it, but I put in about 80 hours and then I was done. The achievements and the trophies and stuff like that, that really carries me. It gives me a reason to go through and play like this massive game that I've already done at this point many times before, and 100% of the game. If I'm gonna go back and do it again, you got to give me a reason to. And this is an important distinction. Like, if you're gonna go back and play a game, especially a game that you've already put many hours into, a game you've already beaten, a game that you've already spent a lot of your time with, you know, you need a reason. Everyone does. Everyone needs a reason to go back and play something they already put their time in. There needs to be something to draw the person, whether it's new content or, you know, let's be honest, in my case, I have to invent a reason to go back and do it. And that is achievements, you know? If you give me a fresh copy with fresh achievements to go back to, I'll do it again. Sure, it's fun. But they, on the Xbox, they just didn't give me my own Anniversary Edition. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't have just made a separate SKU. You know, I understand the whole Anniversary Edition patch and the way smart delivery works, but they should have just made a separate SKU. They already had one for the PS5. They should have just had its own separate fucking thing. just to give Xbox players a reason to go through it and earn more achievements. That really fucking sucks. So what I did is I bought the PS5 version, which had its own PlayStation 5 version. If I wanted, I could do it again and get the Platinum for the PS4. If I wanted to. I don't think I'll be doing that, but I wanted a reason to go through and do this again. That's exactly what I did with Skyrim Anniversary Edition for the PS5. It was my first PlayStation 5 game. Not first game I played on my PlayStation 5. Like I said before, I popped in and played a couple PS4 titles. But this was my first official PlayStation 5 game, and it was my first Platinum trophy I got. It felt good getting the Platinum trophy without having to do all the other stuff. I didn't necessarily want to or like to go through and play all the other storylines and get those achievements. I kind of did a blend between like achievement hunting and then just freely playing how I wanted, because I knew going into it that I didn't have to do all of the quests. I didn't have to go through and do all of the Dragonborn DLC. I didn't have to do all the Dawnguard DLC. I knew I didn't have to do all that shit and kind of grind that out. And in my opinion, the main storyline of Alduin and the dragons and Sovereign Guard and, you know, all that, High Hrothgar and the Keepers of the Voice and all that stuff, the main storyline, in my opinion, is the best storyline in Skyrim. A lot of people blow it off, but it's really good. It's just really good. Spoiler alert, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But just the whole concept of it is amazing. It's fucking amazing. They go to take down this fucking dragon, who is essentially unkillable. Unkillable because he is a god, essentially. They have this plan to fucking kill him. And this one guy had a backup plan just in case it doesn't work. And they were all like, no, you can't do that. That's too much. You can't fucking do it. He's like, look, it's happening. We have no other way. If your plan doesn't work, this is just a backup plan. Don't worry. They go to take him on, and it doesn't fucking work. He's just too fucking powerful. They even fucking created a new fucking... I'm not gonna... if you haven't played it before, if you're unfamiliar with it, because you didn't get that far in the game, you didn't beat it, or... This game came out fucking 15 years ago, I think, right? 2011, yeah, it came out almost 15 years ago. What is it, like 12 years ago. If you forgot. They create a weapon to take this thing down. It's a shout. It's a dragonborn dragon shout. A special one that is called Dragon Rend. Now the way these shouts work is they empower the embodiment of the dragon and its soul. It is more than just their voice or their speech. Like their power is in their voice. It's part of them. And this one was created by humans. And dragons cannot speak it because, again, the way it works with your soul and just the embodiment of the power and the meaning behind the words, they can't comprehend speaking it because it literally is Dragon Rend. So they create essentially this weapon to take down a god, and it doesn't work. It works, but not enough. And so they have to rely on the backup plan. The backup plan being, they got to use an Elder Scroll to banish him. They were hoping that it would cast him into an endless time warp, lost forever. And that's exactly what they did. So then you start Skyrim, and you know, the return of the dragons and whatnot. Just the story is just really compelling. All of a sudden, dragons return out of nowhere. The dragons weren't in hiding. The dragons didn't return. They weren't sleeping. They were dead. They were fucking dead. The dragons, all except for one, was extinct. They straight up killed them. And the reason why they're returning is because Alduin, the god dragon, came back and he is reviving them. You actually go to a site and you see him. You catch him in the fucking act. Him reviving a dead dragon from a burial mound. He comes, the fucking bone dragon comes out and shit like that. And then his skin fucking like forms onto him and shit. It's crazy shit. So he isn't fucking bringing... He isn't fucking... The dragons aren't returning to Skyrim. He's bringing them back to life. And that... When you find that out, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And then, so Alduin... So he's coming back. You gotta remember, too. Alduin, the main bad guy, the main dragon, the dragon god, he came back from this void or whatever. So, to us, it's been hundreds of years, or I should say to the people of Skyrim, the people of Tamriel. To them, dragons just one day just started coming back, and Alduin has returned. To Alduin, he didn't return to nowhere. Alduin did not go away for hundreds of years and then come back. Alduin got cast into the future. So to him, it was like this. To him, he was fighting the battle on top of a fucking mountain. They used the Elder Scroll, cast him into the future, and then all of a sudden he was in the future. For him, not a moment has passed in between that moment and the next. He is still hot and ready, all fired up, in the middle of a fucking war to him. He didn't even know he got cast into the future. He didn't even fucking know. And then he fucking found out that everyone fucking killed all of his kin, all of his dragons, and he set out to revive them. Crazy story, crazy fucking story. Not only that, but part of the reason why he can't die is because he steals away into essentially heaven, right? If you talk about this in an earthly fashion, with heaven and hell and Christianity and stuff like that, think of a fucking demon that steals away into heaven and eats the souls of people in the afterlife to regain its power, and then comes back to Earth after it's fucking had a snack. That shit's fucked up. And so in Sovngarde, they're the Nord's version of heaven there, and eternal life. They have been fucking on the attack. They've been on the defense. They've been under attack by Alduin going over there and literally eating the souls of the fucking dead. So the whole concept, the whole story is not just dragons, but it talks about religion and concepts of the afterlife, time travel, perception, reviving people. Just the whole thing is extraordinary. And if you think the fucking vampire DLC storyline is better, you're fucking cracked. If you think the Dragonborn storyline is better, you're dumb. It's not. It's fucking not. The fucking, the main storyline in Skyrim is brilliant. The writing there, the concepts, the way it comes together. They could have done a lot more. You're basically just doing a bunch of fetch quests and following up leads on a mystery and having a bunch of reveals. It's kind of lame. The execution is kind of lame, I gotta be honest. But the concepts, the story itself, top notch, top fucking notch. I really love the stories there. I've been talking about Skyrim for a while now. Time to move on. I got 5 other games to fucking talk about. But to wrap it up, I did play this thing on the PS5. It was my first official PS5 game. I was very happy to learn that I could just play this thing and get the platinum. And I did exactly that. It was my first platinum. It was a little underwhelming when the platinum popped. I thought it had a slightly different jingle. It is what it is. But I did want to take the time to say the whole trophy system on the PlayStation. Wow. Wow. The way they track the different trophies, how they segment off the different DLCs, how it loads. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Xbox needs a lot of work to catch up. I'm a little envious. But I'm glad that this was my first fucking platinum trophy I got. Like I said, I didn't go and get all. I didn't finish the Dawn Guard. I didn't even go into the castle, Hakron's castle. I didn't finish the Dawn Guard DLC. I didn't finish the Dragonborn DLC. I poked around a little bit with the Hearthfire, and when I say I poked around a little bit, I mean I bought all 3 houses and completed all the houses. I had a lot of fun going to my different homes and doing shit. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with the game. I named my character... So real quick, I popped this game in on the Xbox, and I put in maybe 15, 20 hours or so before I was like, you know what? Because I got a random hankering to play this thing. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna pop this thing in and play it and have some fun, fuck around for a little bit, role play. Because I played this thing over and over again. I got to get a little creative. I decided to role play a little bit. I wanted to be a specific character. I downloaded, you know, the unofficial Skyrim patch and a couple of mods. I find it a much more rewarding experience playing through Fallout with mods than I do Skyrim. I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's not that rewarding to me playing with all these mods. The unofficial Skyrim patch helps for sure. A couple of the content stuff, fucking with like the lighting and stuff like that. But I'm not too keen on the Skyrim mods. I like playing it just vanilla. I just do. It doesn't need, the whole game doesn't need 150 fucking mods and an overhaul to enjoy it. But I was playing with just a couple of mods. I like the to get into the role playing a little bit. I like the what's it called? The unique start or something like that. You could start the game however you want. You could completely skip the main beginning of the game where you're on the fucking horseback and shit like that. You're on the cart. You could skip that shit and just start. They give you like 10 different options, so you could kind of role play a little bit like that. I started doing that, and then after about 15 hours, I'm like, I'm just gonna wipe the whole thing, play on the PlayStation 5, and just do it that way. Of course, if you download all the mods, it disables trophies, so you know. But when I first started on the Xbox, in my 15 hours, I named my character the Collector. My plan was I was going to play through, dungeon dive, and collect all of the unique, not only the Daedric artifacts, but I was going to collect all the special weapons and armor and equipment, and like build out this awesome collection. And I was going to do anything in order to do this. And that was really cool. That was my initial goal. And then when I started 15 hours later on the PlayStation 5, I kind of rethought everything. Instead of the Collector, because I knew I wasn't going to collect everything. I knew I wasn't going to, and I wasn't going to want to do it. But I had a certain play style I was going for. I was an alchemist, and I was a merchant. And that, I really enjoyed doing that. I had so much money. I had so much fun. There's an achievement you need 100,000 gold, which seems like a lot at first when you get your first 100,000. It seems like a lot, but it's not. By the time I put this game down, when I got the platinum, I had like 800,000. I wanted to keep playing until I could get 1,000,000, but I didn't. I ended up getting 800,000 gold. I was a merchant. I put in my perk points into alchemy and speech. You know, I was wheeling, dealing, I was trading. I actually found that, you know, at the beginning I sought after the Thieves Guild so I could get in with the Thieves Guild, make some early money, do some side quests. I could get my perk points and armor and shit like that, and rely on, you know, thieving to get my money. Just going into houses, stealing shit, fencing it. Sounds like it was a really good way of earning money, especially early on in some of my other playthroughs. Going full merchant, though, I found that the Thieves Guild actually hinders me in a lot of ways, because for the main reason that you can't fucking sell stolen goods to everyone. The only way that you could do that is if you get your speech up high enough to sell to so any merchant that you've invested in, you could sell fenced goods. I never got that far. I never after 160 fucking hours and going for speech and selling shit and being a merchant this whole time, I never got that fucking far. Speech never fucking levels up that goddamn fast. I don't understand why. But I was never able to get that fence perk. So I was limited to selling only to the Thieves Guild and special designated fences associated with the Thieves Guild. And long story short, they just don't have enough fucking gold. So it wasn't very lucrative going the thieving route. I just relied on selling my potions, mainly potions, and plunder I got at out in the fucking dungeons, you know? Jewels, gems, weapons and stuff like that. I had a very strict 1-to-10 ratio, which I adjusted later in the game, but I didn't pick anything up. So everything is worth its weight in gold, literally, and you only have a certain amount of space to carry things. After you go and do a dungeon, you come back, sell shit off. You want to be able to get the most out of your fucking dungeon diving. So I had to adhere to a strict rule of 1-to-10 ratio, meaning I did not pick anything up unless it was literally 10 times its weight in gold. If you have a fucking dagger, that's if you have a fucking sword, let's say, that has a weight of 8, I'm not going to pick it up unless its value is at least 80, just the way it is. So two-handed swords, any weapons in particular, that's immediately out of the question. Armor, stuff like that, that's all. Heavy armor especially, the weight to gold ratio is just not good enough for those things. So I just skipped picking up any piece of armor and almost any weapon. Daggers were good. Daggers were good for the weight value because they're super duper duper light. They don't sell for that much either. I think a steel dagger has a weight of... maybe that's iron dagger. I want to say a steel dagger has a weight of 1, and it has a value of 12. So that's barely over the threshold. An iron dagger might have a weight of like 1.5 and a value of 10. I don't know. But so daggers are good. Daggers are fucking good. They're unless we're talking about iron, anything grade steel and up is worth its weight. And light leather. Light leather is good. Not the chest pieces for the most part, but like the bracers and the helmets, especially the helmets. Heavy armor, helmets are like literally the only thing that are worth its weight. You know, they're like a steel or an orc helmet. They weigh only like 5, but they're worth like 100. So that they're worth their weight. Helmets are a good source of money. Daggers, pretty much the only weapons, at least at the beginning of the game, right? And then bracers, of course, are usually 1-for-1, light bracers. So that's how I was making my money. I was picking up the light stuff that were worth its weight in gold. But the biggest money makers were like the potions and scrolls. You'll grab a scroll off of the fucking table in a Draugr Sanctum or some shit like that, and it's literally worth 0.1 and worth 500. You know, any potion really, their weight are, the standard weight of a potion is 1/2, 0.5, and usually, so for it to be worth its weight in gold, all it has to do is sell for fucking 5 pieces of gold, and it's worth its weight with the 10 ratio. But oftentimes you'll pick up a potion, and even if it's a cheaper potion, like 20 gold, that's way worth its weight in gold. You can straight up just stack up on potions, and that's another reason why I became an alchemist. So I ended up naming my character the Alchemist, and that was my main way of making money. And I watched a video recently about how when people play games, RPGs in specific, they never fucking use their potions. They never use them. You always have a potion on you, and you know this is true too. I do this with, I did this playing Final Fantasy and other games too. You'll just hoard the potions. Like, no, I need to keep this elixir just in case I fucking need it. And you never use them. You never use potions, you never use elixirs, you never use ethers, you just never use the items you get. And I was like, huh, that's true. That is true. So I wanted to actually make and use potions. You know, I wasn't going to rely on blacksmithing and all my awesome weaponry. I wanted to fucking, like, drink potions and get fucking powered up and fucking fight that way. Pull out all the fucking stops, be a weird fucking, all-around character with melee combat magic and ranged combat and stealth and stuff like that. I lean towards bows and stealth for sure, but for the most part I wanted to rely on potions. That didn't go as well as I thought it would, meaning I ended up defaulting to my old habits and just not using potions ever, but I did have a lot of like potions I used. I had at least, like, I had tons of potions on me. I had health potions. I had a very strict system. I had 3 potions I used. I had a marksman potion, which I doubled up as a conjuration potion. I should have gotten into conjuration magic. That would have been cool because of this, but I never did. Just as an added benefit, I had this potion that gave me increased marksman, which increased my power for marksman and shit. And there's so many things I could have done differently. I could have been, one-handed, or anyway, there were so many potions I could have made. But since my bow and arrow was my main build, I ended up doing that at first. I didn't even use melee weapons at all, ever. Like when I got into straight up combat and I was fighting people, I was using my fucking bow at point blank range, shotgunning them and shit like that, slowing down time, aiming for the headshots. I got really good at that shit. It was fun. So yeah, marksman potion, health potion, of course. If I fucking took a hit, I just drank a couple. I had so many fucking potions, and then I had a poison where I would just like poison tip my fucking arrows, like just blast people. I usually fucking used one of them for like a boss character or something like that. Anyway, I ended up using these, but there was so many different combinations and shit I could have done. I could have fucking just kitted out my entire character with just endless potions, but at the end I settled on these basic 3 potions. One of them was a poison, a health potion, and a marksman potion, and I was constantly refreshing my marksman potion anytime I took damage. I didn't really care about what level I was or how much damage I took or what my armor value was, because if I got hit I just took a potion and recovered my health constantly. And then I dip my fucking arrows in poison if, before I fought a harder character. Because that, oh my god. Especially when you get good, you level your shit up. I had like a system, I had all my ingredients in a thing. I had a farm, I knew, I Wikipedia'd this shit. I had all the ingredients for my specific potions I was making, and then I was growing all the ingredients myself on all my properties. So I went around and I fucking gathered all my ingredients. I fast traveled, gathered all my shit, went to my house, got all my ingredients ready, and I had like a 4-piece set of armor, head, necklace, ring, and what was the other one? Hands, the hand piece of armor, that were all plus alchemy, fortify alchemy. I did all that fucking shit, put all this shit on before I actually made the potions. Man, so much. I was doing so much damage, so much numbers. I went from fucking, for a long time I couldn't eat. I remember the first time I made a set of potions that I recovered 50 health per usage. I was essentially making a medium health potion, homemade. And that was great. At the end, I was recovering like 300 health or something like that. 200, 300 health per potion. Crazy stuff. My marksman potions, I was increasing my attack power by like 150%. as opposed to, like, I remember when 40% was huge. My poisons, man, my poison arrows were damage health and damage health and lingering damage health. I could have done a better one, but I wasn't able to utilize the ingredients I wanted. Going cheap, just with the homegrown stuff, that was all I had. I would fucking blast them, knock out their fucking health cap, and then the lingering damage would fucking eat them away in between fucking shots. It was great, man. It was great shit. I really got into this character, my alchemist / merchant, and I was making tons of potions. I was selling all my old ones. So, like, I'd be making potions, like, literally, like, 100 health potions, 100 marksman potions, and 100 fucking poisons. I was making tons of fucking potions. And then I would, like, gather all the old ones I got that I wasn't using anymore, and I'd be selling those, and I'd be using just the freshest batch, and all the extras I'd put in, like, a pile, like a chest and stuff. At some point, like, it wasn't even worth picking up loot anymore. Even, like, hardcore, like, ebony fucking pieces of armor and stuff, things that would sell for, like, 1,500 a piece. Like a fucking two-handed weapon that would sell for, like, a two-handed ebony sword, great sword, that would sell for, like 1,200 fucking gold. That shit weighed, like, 26. It was worth its weight in gold, yes, but that's, like, 26 weight. You know, that's like 50 potions I could be carrying on me. 50 health potions, whatever, and I could sell for way, way more money. Way more money. So eventually, all my source of income was potion making. And I didn't even bother picking anything up unless it was jeweled. Literally jewels, garnets, sapphires, and stuff like that. I didn't bother picking anything up to sell unless it was like a jewel, or a jeweled piece of jewel, a gemstone or a piece of jewelry. And even that wasn't as lucrative as my potion making. So eventually I just was doing that. And that's how I made almost 1,000,000 gold in game. Man, crazy fucking thing to do. I was watching some YouTube videos and stuff like that were talking about it a little bit. I found this out by myself. I found this out firsthand. I know it's kind of a thing now, but I didn't know that beforehand. I literally found this out myself. So I'm a little proud of that. But that's what I did. I was role-playing. I was the alchemist. Went through, got the Oblivion Walker achievement. I made extra sure that I did everything right. Created save states. And I just had a fucking blast. Last time I played before this, I said this will probably be the last time I ever play Skyrim. And then I literally put in 160 hours again. Is this the last time I'm going to play? Probably not. I already have somewhat plans to going back and playing again and getting that last fucking achievement on the 360. But long story short, my time with Skyrim again was a fantastic one. I really enjoyed going through and doing this. I had a lot of fun. It's on a better version, it had more content. Some of the downsides, it wasn't the ultimate Skyrim experience though. While I did enjoy the anniversary content and just playing through it again on better hardware, I played this on a current gen console. I played this in the past on a 360, and I played this in the past on the Xbox One, and I played it also with the Xbox Series patch. That's all with mods. That was all good. You can keep playing this thing on better hardware. You can keep patching it and upgrading it and modding it. But at the end of the day, while it does hold up fairly well with all the bells and whistles, I would imagine this shit would be rough playing just the base version with nothing. Playing it either on the 360 or the PS3 or even on the PC with all your settings maxed out with no mods, just the base version of Skyrim. Just the base fucking version would be kind of a slog. So this game is just getting a little long in the tooth, and they keep doing little things to patch it and make it run better, but eventually Eventually, we're just gonna need a new one, or we're gonna need to remake it, or something like that. But will this be the last time I play Skyrim? Probably not. Probably fucking not. But the experience was worth it. The experience was very fun. And the reason why I was playing this in the first place is because I was in a slog. I was like, I just need something to snap me out of my current routine with games. Like, I had some games on the horizon I wanted to play. The games I was currently playing I was kind of getting bored, and I just needed something. And that's the reason why it took me so goddamn long to play and beat Final Fantasy IV, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I did that, and it was so fun, so rewarding, and I love Skyrim. I really do. My favorite game, my favorite Bethesda game, my Bethesda RPG, is not Skyrim, though. I like the Elder Scrolls universe better than Fallout, but I would say Fallout 4 is probably my favorite. When they do patch Fallout 4, I'm gonna be all over that fucking thing. I'm gonna go through the whole goddamn thing, get all the achievements, but I suspect they're gonna do the same thing with Xbox as they did with Skyrim. It's gonna be a fucking patch. It's just gonna be Fallout 4 with the Xbox Series S and X patch. It's not gonna be like a special edition. It's gonna be the same fucking game. The Game of the Year edition. I don't know. We'll see. If they give us a fresh achievement list, I'm doing it all on Xbox. But I don't believe they're going to do that. I think they're going to treat it similarly to Skyrim Anniversary Edition. And if they do that, which I'm sure they will, I'm playing this thing on the PS5. And I'm going to get my second Platinum. So, it was fun playing on the PlayStation. I don't think there was any haptic feedback on the controls. I had fun playing with it. My hands were hurting at first because I wasn't used to playing with the PlayStation controller. But I got used to it eventually. Overall, that's a good controller. It's not as good as the Xbox controller, but that is a good controller. That being said, I have not actually played any of the haptics. I have not played any game on that has haptic support. So, like I said, I've just been playing old PS4 games on this thing, and the first PS5 game I played, no haptic support. However, I will say that just the loading times on this thing, beautiful, beautiful. The SSD on the PS5 is a tier above the one on the Xbox Series consoles. It's fast. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's really fucking fast. I really like it. And I noticed the difference. But it's just a tier better on the PS5. Just the loading screens are just at least twice as snappy. I mean, we're talking about seconds. Like a loading screen, any given loading screen is like the main loading screen is like it's a thing. It's a fucking thing. Turbo, what the fuck you talking about? It's different. It's fucking different, and everything isn't a one-for-one. But let's say loading your save. After the game loads up and everything on the Xbox, loading your save up takes about 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Not that long at all. On the PlayStation 5, literally 2. Literally fucking 2. Booting the game up, just like 1 second. It just loads up the main screen. On the Xbox, you have that weird, like, loading thing. You got that, like, there's like this weird loading screen with all the Xbox games. It's not an actual loading screen, it's like an operating system loading screen, and there's like this splash screen that shows up. You can't bypass or anything like that. It's just fucking there. That shit is kind of annoying. Loading to the main menu, even on the Xbox, it takes a really long time. Well, it's like instant on the PS5. Anyway, let's move off. Let's stop talking about Skyrim. We're fucking done with that shit. Next game I played is, let's talk about Modern Warfare 2 again. I'm still playing this game. This is my service game I'm playing. I don't make it a point to always be playing a service game, but I do make it a point to only play one if I'm going to be playing a service game. In Modern Warfare 2, I didn't used to think about it as a service game, but I do now. And that's kind of a bad thing. I don't like the overall direction that my Call of Duty is taking. But it is a service game. They roll out seasons. That didn't used to be a thing. It's a thing now. It's weird. It gives me something to look forward to and a reason to keep coming back and playing it without the seasons. I don't know what else I would fucking do. I already grinded out the Orion camos. I talked about that extensively. We're in the middle of Season 2 Reloaded, which is the midpoint of the second season. I'm having an okay time with it. Apparently the Call of Duty community is really, really just disappointed with the content we're getting, making all sorts of comparisons of previous games and stuff like that. Like, we're only getting like one new map per season, and just, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I just think back to when I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, or even the Call of Duties before that, right? I just want to play the game, pop some heads, run around with a shotgun. That's really it. That's the only real reason why I'm playing, and I'm having fun doing that. So the main game is good, but there's just a lot of weird things going on with, you know, skill-based matchmaking, the time it takes to load in, all the manipulation, just how they disband groups afterwards. I absolutely fucking hate that. I absolutely hate that the game disbands your group after playing a game of free-for-all or team deathmatch, right? It'll disband the group, and it'll force you into the queue again, and you gotta wait another minute or more with crossplay turned on in order to matchmake another fucking group. It just sucks. It just fucking sucks the way it works. So there's a lot of weird shenanigans there, but you know, it is what it is. It's my service game I'm playing. I'm having fun with it. I've said this before, this will probably be my last Call of Duty game, my last serious Call of Duty game where I'm participating in the online multiplayer. I'm buying the season passes. There's a lot of weird politics in here. Like, I've gotten notification messages about having an offensive username, which is bullshit. My username on Call of Duty is Shotgun Guy. I already know what happened. I pissed someone off. Someone's always getting pissed off. But yeah, I'm trucking along. Not much else to say. I'm playing this thing. I play every day almost. I took like a 2-day break. I didn't play for like 2 days, and I finally jumped back in. Was having a good time, but I was sucking. I gotta stay up on my game on this thing. But yeah, I'm rolling shotguns. I got the new shotgun introduced in this season. I already did all the challenges with it. It's the second worst shotgun. There is 5 shotguns now. Wait, 1, 2, 1. There's the Lockwood, the Expedite. Yeah, there's 5. There's the Lockwood, the Expedite, the Bryson 800, the Bryson 890, which is a variant, technically a different shotgun. And then there's the new, the fuck is it called? The KV Broadside. KV Broadside, after having extensive time with all the shotguns, KV Broadside is the second worst shotgun. The second worst. I don't know, the Bryson 890 and the KV Broadside, the best things about them are the clip. When you gotta reload, you just... That's it. You don't have to fucking... Because that is a killer. If you're rolling around with the shotgun, just managing your reload is an essential part of the shotgun class. Knowing when to reload, knowing when to wait, especially with like the Lockwood. You got 2 shots, you got 2 pops, and you're done. Pop, pop, and then you're caught with your pants down. You have to be precise. You have to pick your targets. if you hear or see anything around you, you can't just fucking shoot off both fucking rounds. You can't just reload after every time you fire something off. You have to pick your targets, aim, shoot. You gotta be quick. You gotta have some awareness around you. Is there any other target? Do they deserve a pop? Is it safe to reload? You constantly have to be thinking about that. You can't just reload after every time you fucking shoot your fucking wad, and you can't fucking just, you know, blow both barrels every time you go to fire. You gotta fucking pick your targets. You gotta aim. You gotta shoot. If the first one doesn't put them down, then do the second one. You have a split second. You have a split fucking second to pull that trigger again before they return fire. It is a thing. You have to manage this shit. You need to be an expert. You cannot use the shotgun the same way you do any other weapon. I would argue that the shotgun class, the shotgun weapons, are just as different as a firearm, as a weapon in these games, as the knives and the shields are. You just gotta play differently. You can't just wear a fucking shield and just fucking do that. You have to play specifically. You gotta know when to take it out, when to run, you gotta know when to do this shit. There are people who use shields and knives and piss people off because they're using them. And then there's people who use them expertly, and if you're good at it, you are a force to be reckoned with. I've met some of them. I am shotgun guy. You can't just use a shotgun. You have to... There's a very low entrance to... there's a very low barrier of entry for using a shotgun. You could use them. A lot of people don't like them. They're easy to pick up. Easy to be good at them. But it is very difficult to master them. I consider myself a master at them. And I'm very good at them. To the point where if I'm engaging in a firefight with another person, the only weapon that I don't like to go up against is another shotgun. Because they are on the same playing field as mine. They're working with the same distance. They're working with the same spread. They're probably firing from the hip. The same tricks don't work against them as they do people with other weapons. So it is a fucking thing. And it is a huge boon. It is a huge boon to play with a weapon with a magazine. So the Bryson 890, the Bryson 800 variant, which has a mag, and then the new KV broadside. It has a mag as well. It's a huge boon to be using these weapons and playing like that. A huge boon. That being said, it kind of alters the way you play. You don't really have to worry about managing your the reload economy, managing your weapons and stuff like that. You could play a little bit more willy-nilly, give you a peace of mind. Take the time and reload when you're good and safe, so you're not caught with your pants down, which happens a lot, no matter what class you're playing, let alone, shotgun class. But it is a huge peace of mind. The drawback is the weapons aren't as good. The Expedite, the KV broadside just isn't as good as the Expedite. It's just not. Stat-wise, it's just not as good. The Bryson 890 is not as good as the Bryson 800. It literally isn't. If you take the bare bones weapon and put their stats side by side, the Bryson 800 is just better. But you get the magazine. So these weapons are the ones with the clips. The Bryson 890 and the KV broadside. They're the inferior shotguns. But it is a huge boon to be able to have a magazine. But what that ultimately does is it trades in performance for peace of mind. And if you're going to play a shotgun class and you're gonna get good and you're going to properly manage your reload economy, you ain't looking for peace of mind. If you're good at it, sure, there's gonna be a time where there's two guys there and you gotta be quick on the fly, and you gotta take one of them out, and then you gotta take the other one out in between reloading. It's very rare there's a third one there and you're fucked. But it does give you a peace of mind, and that's great. But the downside is they're just not as good. A lot of people love the KV broadside because it has a base range. Tremendously base range, just compared to all the other shotguns. The range on this thing, on the base weapon, is immaculate. It really is. But that confuses a lot of people. They think that it has the best range out of all the shotguns. It doesn't. It doesn't. The Bryson 800, maybe the 890, not entirely sure. I don't think so. But the Bryson 800 has a better range than the KV broadside. People don't know that because its base stats are insane. But if you kit out the other shotguns, they have better range. And so people are just confused. And it's part of the meta. I don't like the meta. I don't like the idea of a group of fucking dorks who hail this meta as the way to go. Like, these top 15 weapons are the best weapons in the game. They're not. They're just the best. They're just the most used weapons. They don't take into account the casual factor. That casuals play and use these weapons, and they do it in the way casuals do. The KV broadside is part of the meta. That is true. But casual players who don't use the shotgun classes, that don't know all the ins and outs, low barrier for entry, hard to master, these people aren't using the KV broadside. These people are using the Lockwood. These people are using the Bryson 800. They're not using the KV broadside. Anytime someone uses a shotgun in these games, they're using the KV broadside, like every fucking time. They're not the top of the leaderboard. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm still playing. Just want to talk about my shotguns. I do not own a shotgun in real life. I am not real life shotgun guy. I'm strictly talking about Call of Duty. When it comes to Call of Duty shotguns, I am the expert. Another reason why it's just so much different from any other weapon is the way they fire. And all the other guns, submachine gun, assault rifle, what have you, they fire a straight line. They fire a single bullet. No fucking shit, Turbo. But if you think about it, I call it the pellet gods. You know, I don't think there is a physics system in place. I think it's random. But when you shoot a shotgun shell, the pellet spread is randomized within a group. It's completely random, I believe. Not in real life. There's like the bore of the weapon and other factors in real life that, you know, predict, you know, shotgun pellet spread. But in this game, I think it's just completely random within a group range. And so what that means in the game is you can pretty much press this shit up against someone's fucking head, pull the trigger, and the pellets randomly, in theory, well, not in theory, in practice, it's happened to me before, not very often, but it has happened, it will shoot out a fucking head-shaped fucking spread and just go right over the fucking guy. You could press this shit up against them, pull the fucking trigger, and then the pellets will go and hit air. Hit fucking air. There's times at close range you could pop a guy, get a headshot or whatever. It'll register as a hit, but what happens is one of these pellets will hit him. In hardcore mode, not take him down. This happens frequently. You'll shoot a guy, get a hit. One, maybe two of the individual... I don't know how many pellets are... I think it differs by shotgun, but I don't know how many pellets there are. But I'm gonna have to check that out later on today. I'm gonna go into the firing range and count how many actual pellets there are. But it is very possible that only one of the pellets could hit the person, and that will not kill him. One pellet will not kill someone. One pellet is significantly, one single pellet from a shotgun blast in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is significantly weaker than a single bullet from a pistol or a SMG or whatever given weapon. It is the weakest weapon in the game. It is the weakest projectile weapon in any form. A pellet from a shotgun blast. The weakest. It gets its power by multiple hits. You have to get hit by at least 2 or 3 pellets in order to take a guy down, even in hardcore mode, even at close range, even when it's a headshot. Multiple pellets. Multiple. Think about that. And the pellet spread is random. It is. There's no tuning of a weapon, no attachments that you can do to guarantee it will hit. I suppose if you squeeze the pellet spread down to a small fucking tight grip, right? And your reticle is aimed center, and there's physically no way to fucking miss within that spread. I fucking guess you can guarantee a hit at a certain distance, right? If you're at medium distance, all bets are off. All bets are off, but yeah, it is fundamentally different from all other weapons. You could kit out your fucking weapon very specifically, and you're still at the mercy of the pellet gods, you know? It fucking happens. So that is why shotguns are fundamentally different from all other weapon classes. There's from the pellet spread and the way that works and the randomization there. So range and accuracy and tighter spread and the recoil and all that shit works completely differently with shotguns than it does the other weapons. Just completely fucking different. You can build your weapon the same way you can an assault rifle in this game, but the outcome will be completely fucking different. Completely fucking different. And then there's reload. You gotta reload after each shot. Even the automatic ones, you can't just blast out another shot. I think with the KV broadside, if you have the light bolts on it to make it so your gun fires faster, pop, 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 pop. That's still pretty slow. That's like slower than a semiotic pistol. Some semiotic pistols. That's slower than the fucking the 50 cal, the Deagle. Yeah, everything about it is just fucking different, and I love it. I love it. It's so much different. I always love to play the unorthodox classes, just because people do not have the knowledge about them to know what to expect. And there's this huge, the meta, right? There's this huge group of people and what's considered knowledge that people, of misinformation, that people just think. They just think this is how the way the gun works. This is how it goes. If this happens, if you're in this situation, this is what the outcome is going to be. They think that's the way it goes. They think that's how it goes. It ain't the way it goes. And I know better. And I use that to my advantage. And that's why I always love the unorthodox classes. Super Smash Brothers, the unorthodox characters are always my best characters. My top characters in Smash Brothers are Ness, Rob, K. Rool, King DDD. A lot of them are like slower characters. They're weird, unorthodox. I don't like any of the swordsmans. I don't like any of the fast characters like Fox or Kirby. None of the melee guys. I like the unorthodox guys, the ones that have weird movements. They look like they'll be really slow, but they'll fucking surprise you, like the weird shit. In all my games, I always gravitate towards the weird, unorthodox builds. And that's why I'm a shotgun guy. Anyway, enough about that. I'm just want to let you know I'm still playing it. I'm still having fun. I don't make it a point to always be playing a service game, but I do make it a point to play just one at a time. The other one that I'm waiting to jump back into is Deep Rock Galactic, whenever the next season starts. I'm not playing that right now, but when I do, I'm going to be putting down and taking a break from Modern Warfare 2 when I go to do that. Next game, let's talk about Builder's Journey, Lego Builder's Journey. I'm not going to talk about this one for very long. I played through and I beat the game in 2 hours. This thing looked kind of cool when I saw it. It was on sale. I never even heard of this game until I saw it on sale, and I saw it and I was like, that looks like it could be cool. I think it was on sale for like $7, $8 or something like that. I just said, fuck it, I'll buy it. I knew it was short. I didn't know it was this short. It was like 2 hours long. It was about the price of entry. It was about $8. That's how much it's worth. I'm not gonna shit on it too much because it was only $8. Would I recommend buying this thing full price for like, I don't know what it was, like 10, 15 bucks? I don't know. No, it's just too short and too plain. But for like $7, $8, if you could see this thing on sale, I would say sure, go ahead and do it if you want some quick achievement points or something like that. It's called Lego Builder's Journey, or just Builder's Journey. It is a puzzle game. It's a level-based puzzle game where they try to tell some sort of narrative story without any words about, I think, a father and son that are going on a hike and spending time together. And then there's this one level where he's got to go to his job, and the kid gets bored and gets lost, and he has to find his way back to his dad. It's weird. Like I said, there's no speech, there's no words being spoken, but it kind of just tells this story, this journey. And it takes place in a Lego universe. Each level is a single screen in like the 3/4 view. This game has ray tracing on it. You can like turn on and off ray tracing. You can play like 30 frames per second with ray tracing on, or you turn off ray tracing and it could be like 120 frames per second. I was playing around with that a little bit. I was very unimpressed. The game just looked better with it off, with artistic perceived lighting in the game, with the reflections and stuff. With ray tracing turned on, with realistic ray tracing and reflections, didn't look as good. It just didn't. I don't know if it was just this game's version of ray tracing that looked shitty, but I just was unimpressed, and I wanted to play this game at higher fidelity, higher frame rates, higher resolution. But I did play around with it a little bit. I think this is like the first game I've played where it gave me the option to toggle it on and off and see what it looks like and stuff. Oh shit, that being said, there is another game that gave me this option. I'll talk about that next. Anyway, Builder's Journey was, like I said, it's a puzzle game. The way it works is you play as like, it's like a sim-style, RTS-style game. You don't play as the character, you play as like a god, a silent, invisible god hovering over a landscape, and you can like move things around and shit like that. So the way it works is you got a character, and he's got to get to the goal, and you got to build Lego formations, and he'll automatically like go to the area. And it's not as free as you might think, or fun. It is very scripted, very specific. You have the freedom to move pieces around and put them on anything that you can, but there's a very set amount of rules, things that you could do, things that you could build, places where they could go, and it's very scripted in that sense. Very boring. It was pretty fun at first, pretty chill, but I'm very glad it ended after 2 hours. I'm very glad it ended after 2 hours. The story was weird. I don't have much else to say about it. It's a 2-hour game that I got on sale for like $8. It was barely worth the $8, but, you know, it is pretty cheap, especially in today's economy, despite the fucking recession. But it is what it is. I went through, got a few easy points. I used this game as a refresher. Like, I specifically looked to see how long this game is. A lot of people pegged it at like 2 to 4 hours. I blasted through in like 2 hours. I don't have much else to say. Would I recommend this game? Not really. Not unless you could specifically find it on sale, you're a fan of like the Lego stuff, and you want something chill as a refresher in between other games, just to, you know, reset your palate. Sure, go for it. Moving on. Real quickly, I don't have this listed on here, but I did pop in and play Cyberpunk 2077. I played that thing for like 2 hours before I quit. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Cyberpunk 2077 for a really long time like I have the other games, but I don't have that much to say about it. This was the other game with ray tracing on it and stuff. I didn't even fuck with that. I didn't get that far. I barely got past the tutorial. Technically, I was still in the... There's like a tutorial mission. And then there's like... But I was still in the prologue. I didn't even get to the open world part of the game. I was still in the scripted part. There is so much jank in this game. I played this on the Series X after the patches, after the numerous patches, after it's been fixed, and... it is... I played through that opening section of the game that was very, very, very heavily curated. That opening sequence we saw where you and Jackie, V and Jackie, go into that apartment, and there's like that naked bitch in the fucking tub you fucking take out, and you know what I'm talking about. That was like the very beginning of the game. Then there's like the car ride, and then you go back to your apartment, you look at your face, I guess, I don't know. I played for about 2 hours of the game. I understood going into this thing that it is not like The Witcher. I would go a step farther and say this game isn't an RPG at all. This game is closer to Far Cry than anything else. It's not, you know, even compared to other shooters, you know. There was just something off about it. The beginning moments of the game were incredibly scripted. Incredibly scripted. And even then, it was janky. I could just see the jank and everything. Fucking people clipping through wall. It was very subtle. But I gotta be honest, I was looking for any excuse. But it was very subtle. I shouldn't have seen anything. In the most scripted part of the fucking game, the part that they showed in videos and previews and stuff like that, after all these patches, this should have been flawless. It wasn't. There was people's hands clipping through things. I'm going to drink a drink of nothing. And just weird movements. People saying things like NPCs shouting at you from across the fucking room. You shouldn't even... You're not close enough to interact with them. And there's people like I'm on their nutsack trying to interact with them. Trying to like press a fucking button to interact with them. And they don't even acknowledge me until I do that. Like they're literally in front of me, just kind of doing this, and I'm like going to hit the talk button and it's not working because they're like ducking and weaving. They're like fucking dodging my fucking reticle and shit. You go, hit the X button here, hit the X button. Fuck you. And I finally hit them, and then they acknowledge that I'm in front of them. Like shit like that, man. Shit like fucking that. And then the game finally opened up in my first open world segment where it's like, okay, here's the beautiful open world, go and do your thing. And my very first interaction, there was a couple of police officers knocking on a door. Hey, are you in there? Or something like that, in my apartment building. I just walked over there to see what they were doing. I want to see the little skit and how it played out. Are they going to break into the fucking thing? Well, you know, what's going to happen? I walk over there and I'm looking. I'm just waiting for them to do their thing. Very scripted event. You know, they wanted to make sure. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm playing and fucking... the music changes. There's like a... They gave me like a stealth tutorial. Like when you get caught, they're right? That happened here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I could tell that they turned hostile, but they didn't start like firing and shooting and killing me because the game wouldn't let them do that. I don't know if it was a glitch or if I was still part of like the tutorial. I don't know if the game like was on easy mode for me until I got through the tutorial. I don't know, but like the icon above their head happened. They grabbed their weapon like they're hostile. They were yelling at me. But they didn't fire on me, they didn't shoot, and then everyone just started like running, like they're running away from a fucking fight or something like that. It's like, what is going on? It's like, whatever, I went to go down the stairs and everyone's still running away, like running away from like a firefight or something like that. It's like, it completely broke the world, and just the hostile encounter didn't even work the way it should have. I am not fucking doing this. I'm not putting 20, 25, 30, however long the wikis say this game is. I am not doing this. I was unimpressed. So much jank. Fucking all the weird fucking cutscenes, the first-person cutscenes where they're all up in your fucking face and shit, and look at my titty and all this weird shit. It was just fucking weird. I'm not doing it. I put in 2 hours in this fucking game and dropped it like a hot goddamn potato. And that is $30 wasted. That is my story of that is my experience with Cyberpunk 2077. I waited all these years. I sifted through all the reviews. Everyone said it got better. I believe them, but it did not get good. I did not enjoy my time with this thing. The weird scripted shit. Oh, no. I believe I saw, this is my firm belief. But again, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I only put in 2 hours of the game. But it is my belief that I saw the best parts of this game. All the vertical slice that they put front and center. It was weird, awkward, and janky. And they couldn't even get that right, after all this time, with all the patches and shit. After the Series X and S patch. All these years. Very disappointed. So that was my time, and I'm never gonna go back to it again. On a side note, there have been games that launched horribly that have got patches to make the games better after launch, and people are like, oh, it's fixed now, it's great, you should play it now. I was never a fan of that. I don't want to reward developer. Good example would be No Man's Sky. I don't want to reward the developers for launching a shitty game in a broken state, just to give them my money 2 years later, after they fucked everyone over. Like, it's great it works now, at least you did that. But you don't deserve celebration because you fixed a game that you launched in a broken state. You could have waited 2 years and then launched it in the state it is currently in. Zero bad press, fucking no one over, that would have been great. Sure, there would have been people mad that you delayed it, but I am so over games launching busted and broken. I do not want to reward them by taking a chance on them later after they patched a few things. You gotta look at it from my perspective. I'm avoiding said game because it's busted to all fucking hell. You have proven yourself dishonest and disloyal to your customers and your fan base by shitting on them, and now you want me to give you your money after the fact, after you've already shown me that you've done this? But no, you fixed your game. Everything's fine now. What, am I supposed to trust you now? I'm not a fan of that, but I am a selfish gamer. I will play what I want, when I want, how I want to play it, and if I want to go back and play No Man's Sky a couple years after it released because it got fixed, I'll do that. And that's exactly what I did with that game as well. I didn't buy this thing day one. I bought it for like half off after it came to Xbox. And I had a good time with it. I did. I hear it's even better now, which is cool. I think I'm just going to wait for Starfield to get that fix at this point. But I was thinking about going back and playing it again. But, yeah, I'm glad gamers got their vindication. I don't give a fuck about Hello Games and Sean Murray and how much money they made, and I'm not celebrating that they fixed it, but I am glad for the gamers that did enjoy it. I'm just not a fan of this shit. But now we're in a space where even after a game got fixed, and now that apparently it's better, it's still fucked up. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. When a game launches bad, I'm going to assume it's going to stay bad. Even after it's been fixed. I'm going to be extra careful now. Cyberpunk 2077 77. CD Projekt Red, they fucked the industry up. I have a less faith, and I'm willing to take less chances now, especially in the Game Pass landscape, where I don't have to pay for shit no more. Whew. And people still whine and cry about developers. Oh, pro dev, you have to. Oh, I'm so glad. But I will never get the pro developer argument ever. Ever. Anyway, that was my Cyberpunk story. Alright. I'm gonna blast through these. I've talked long enough. I don't want to sit here all day. Final Fantasy IV. I finally beat it. I finally beat Final Fantasy IV. It's taken me a while, but I finally did it. I put in about 24, 25 hours with this thing. I noticed with Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, I overshot my playtime compared to the estimated playtime to beat these games by a lot. I played Final Fantasy 1 a good 6-7 hours over the average. Final Fantasy 2, a good 5 or 6 hours. Final Fantasy 3, I think I played that thing 4 or 5 hours more than the average, but I've gotten some chops. I've gotten my my gameplay down. I've been playing a few of these now. I'm easing back into the rhythm of things. I played this one just 2 hours more than the expected. So I'm lowering my time as I get better with these. I didn't play that much of this. This is a shorter Final Fantasy, about 24 hours ish. And as you know, I'm going through and I'm playing and I'm beating all the Final Fantasy games in order. I've never done it before. I've played most of them, but I haven't actually beaten any of them until somewhat recently. Starting with the first one. I went through and I played and I beat 1, 2, 3, and now 4. I played on the Pixel Remaster version on Steam. It looked beautiful. I'll say again, a lot of people trash talk these games and poo-poo it because the sprite work isn't as good and blah blah blah. I will say this, the stills of this game do not do it justice. If you just take a screenshot and compare it to its old version, yeah, the old versions do look better. I will admit that. But you're not playing screenshots, you're not playing a flipbook, you're playing a video game in motion. And in motion, it looks phenomenal. Smooth frames. The artwork specifically collaborates with the environments and the remade lighting and stuff. It looks phenomenal. The still image does not do this shit justice. You have to play it in motion. Watch a video of it in motion with all the settings boosted. Sit down and just watch 15 minutes of it. Tell me what you think then. But don't believe anyone that just, whines and cries who hasn't played and beat it. There's a reason why the actual Steam reviews are overwhelmingly positive for these games versus, critic reviews on, Metacritic and, other websites and stuff all poo-poo it. There's a reason why, and it's because the actual people who actually bought it and actually played it, who aren't just whining, it looks great. So Final Fantasy IV, where does it rest on the pantheon of Final Fantasy games so far? I made a prediction early on that this is probably going to end up being my favorite one, dethroning Final Fantasy II. I was correct. Final Fantasy IV is officially my favorite Final Fantasy game I have played and beaten. I didn't think this would beat 2. This is a weird one to me, because this is Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo. My previous favorite one of all time that I played was Final Fantasy VI. I have a very limited amount of time with Final Fantasy VI, yet it was still my favorite. I'm still going to call it my favorite as well, even beating 4. I'm still going to call Final Fantasy VI my favorite. But out of the ones that I played and beat, Final Fantasy II was my fave. That one was my fucking fave. But I've heard from people that on the Super Nintendo, that they liked Final Fantasy 2 more than Final Fantasy 3, which is games 4 and 6, respectively. The fanboy in me always got offended at that, because I never actually played Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo. I did, however, play Final Fantasy 3. That one was always my favorite. I always gravitated towards that. So when I'm hearing the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy 2 is better than Final Fantasy 3, like, nah, brah. You got to be insane. That fucking opening sequence with the credits. No, you can't beat that. Kefka, the legendary fucking villain in all of gaming, no, you can't beat that. Surely, right? So I've always had a bit of fanboyism there. But now, having played for the first time the Super Nintendo version of Final Fantasy II, in the form of Final Fantasy IV, the Pixel Remaster, this game has a lot going for it. It's so good. It is, so far, the most character-driven Final Fantasy game. Even side characters that you only meet and interact with for a short amount of time, they hit home. It is a very, very dark story. Very dark story. It's a very grounded story dealing with civil war and kingdom strife. It's like a pixel version of Game of Thrones. But then, of course, because it's Final Fantasy, they gotta throw in crystals and magic and otherworldly stuff. The game goes nutso. The game fucking goes nutso. The previous games went nutso, too. I think in the second one, they all go nutso. In the first game, there's like this time-traveling entity that has thrown the world into an endless loop of chaos. They kind of expanded on that a little bit with that Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise game, which is weird. Final Fantasy II, it turns out like hell and hell's demons are controlling an overlord, and you eventually have to go into hell itself to fucking thwart that mess. And in Final Fantasy III, there's a whole other world. There's a whole other world on the bottom. Now that I think about it, I remember playing Final Fantasy 13 when that came out, right? And you go through the game, it's pretty linear, and then the game eventually opens up and you're on the bottom. Because this whole time you're in like this sphere in the sky, and then when you finally get to the bottom, the actual planet, it's like, whoa, I didn't even know this existed. It was crazy. That's a take on Final Fantasy III. Final Fantasy III had the same shit going on. There's the floating islands, and then there's the world below. That was crazy. Final Fantasy IV goes nutso too. Way nutso. You go to the moon. Straight up. It deals with like aliens and extraterrestrials and fucking human engineering, and it's crazy. This is the first one where you actually had like futuristic technology. The story is nutso. It eventually gets nutso like that. Gameplay was pretty good. Gameplay was pretty solid. Still not a fan of the rotating cast. Sometimes you'd get items that increases a character's hit points and stuff, and you never know who you're gonna waste it on. But not a fan of the rotating cast, but I did like the cast members as a character. Story was really dark. There's like child murder. You as a character, you're not a good person. You've done some shit. It was just a solid fucking game. I don't really want to spoil anything. It has everything. It's really campy in certain areas. The soundtrack is amazing. Fucking amazing. That's one thing I credit Final Fantasy III for being kind of a mediocre game, a mediocre Final Fantasy, a mediocre JRPG. I did not like it as well as 2. But compared to that, one thing that I really did love about Final Fantasy III in specific was its soundtrack was immaculate. Like low-key, the best track in all of Final Fantasy is the Crystal Palace, or whatever the fuck it's called. the end game dungeon for that fucking game is fucking amazing. Final Fantasy 3 had a great fucking soundtrack. Final Fantasy 4's is, I think, better. Just overall better. Final Fantasy 4 really has it all. It does some new cool things. It has a new revolutionary system where you can actually save inside the dungeons. That's really fucking cool. They play around with the class system. They just have a solid combat system, the way it works. It's kind of in between. They kind of have like a class system like Final Fantasy 3, but you don't have the freedom to swap people in and out. You just get what you get. But at the same time, they have like proficiencies. Even if it's on the back end, you don't actually get to see stats and stuff. And the way your characters get better and your equipment go, it's a good blend of, it's just a solid system. It's not as in-depth or convoluted. That's a good thing too. Like some of the fucking systems, while in Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 2, they have really cool systems in place that you can go nuts with. They'll give you a lot of freedom, a lot of ways to play around. It feels like an RPG-ass RPG. It gets a little convoluted and confusing and stupid at times. Even though I did like the class systems of both 2 and 3, they kind of pull that back a little bit with 4. It's more traditional, less choice, but it feels really good, it's really solid, and there's less convoluted shit there. But again, just not a fan of the rotating cast of actual players. Other than that, that is my only gripe of Final Fantasy IV. Other than that, just a solid game, solid story, solid narrative, solid soundtrack, and it looks beautiful in the pixel art remaster. Not sure when I'm going to play Final Fantasy V. I heard that one is a lot like Final Fantasy III, just in its lackluster, generic story and characters. But it's got a more robust version of the Final Fantasy III class system. I'm excited to play that. I heard gameplay is king there. And that's how I felt about Final Fantasy III as well. Gameplay was definitely king with Final Fantasy III, especially with the experimentation in the class system. I'm excited to play like a more robust system of that in Part 5, but the real test will be when I get to Final Fantasy VI. Will that remain my favorite game? I have a feeling, not a strong feeling, but I have a feeling that it is possible that Final Fantasy IV will retain the throne, retain the crown of my favorite Final Fantasy game. Because as of right now, Final Fantasy IV is my favorite game in the Final Fantasy franchise I played and beat. Barring Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I love that fucking game. I did play that, but out of the mainstream games. So I did that finally. That was fun. Last 2 games I'm going to talk about, not very long. I'm currently playing Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. The, on Xbox. I heard it's a short game. It's about 5 hours going through like the main adventure mode and stuff. This is the last game in my physical library for the Xbox. I made the decision at the beginning of the generation to not buy anything physical for the Xbox, so I do not own any native Xbox Series physical titles. Emphasis on physical. And I had this just huge library of games that I never got around to. So I wanted to make that push. I was planning on going through that last year. I made a good dent, but I didn't actually do it. I'm definitely going to finish that up this year. So this is the last and final physical game for my Xbox library that I'm going to be popping in and playing. After that, everything is all digital. Everything is all digital. Same thing with my PlayStation 4 library. I got 2 PlayStation 4 games left in my physical library. Gravity Rush 2 and The Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to be playing those on the PS5. And that'll be it. That's it for my physical backlog. Period. So I'm excited to get that over and done with. For the game itself, I'm having a lot of fun with this thing. it's cool. I never played it. I never actually played it. I hear by a lot of PlayStation fans that this is the quintessential racing game. Back on the PlayStation 1, I believe it was, that it blows away Mario Kart. I disagree. I disagree. It is very good. I am having a lot of fun with it. This is kind of like, if I could make a comparison, I've never heard this comparison before, but I'm going to make it. This is a lot like Diddy Kong Racing. You have an overworld that you're driving around, and you go to different locations, and you activate races in the main game that way. It's a lot like Diddy Kong Racing in that sense. A little bit more tighter, a little bit more restrictive, but still, I'm getting Diddy Kong Racing vibes. The races themselves are tough. They're not that hard, but just the fact that you need to get in first place in order to get the trophy and progress is kind of a pain in the ass. I'm very used to just like playing and getting like third place and getting some points and coasting along that way. But the driving is very solid. The driving feels good. I'm gonna beat this game, but by the time I do, while I'll probably be better than I am currently right now, I don't think I'm going to be able to master the driving on this one. The worst thing this game has going for it is the controls. There's an option to go back and use the bumpers, the shoulder buttons to drive, but then the sliding button and the jump button are the same, then you gotta use another one to activate. The controls aren't the best. The game feels good. I don't mean the game controls badly. The game feels good. The game feels immaculate. The game feels really great. But the actual control scheme sucks. And there's only 2 prerequisites. So I'm just not having a great time with that. I'm trying to get used to it, but it is hindering me. I would love it if just like I could use, I don't know. I just wish it was a little bit different, and I wish that I didn't have to press a different. There's like a single slide button, like power slide button, and you have to use it to bounce, and then you initiate a power slide, and you have to press a different button in the middle of a power slide in order to activate your boost. You get like a free boost with power slide, which that's a staple in like every Mario Kart game, right? Gotta itch the foot. That's like a staple in all like the Mario Kart games. But with this one, you have to press the button again in order to activate the boost. The problem is you're still holding the button down, and you have to press. They give you 2 buttons that do the same thing. You have to press and hold one, and then you have to press the other one in order. It's dumb. But I'm having fun with it. There's a lot of flair. They give you the option to play the game in its original state, or you could play like the updated Nitro Fuel version, which will allow you to play through the game with any character you want. I'm playing through with Dingo Dial, because Dingo Dial is like my favorite Crash character. But it's a solid game. I'm really liking it. I'm glad I bought this thing. I'm not having as much fun with it or in love with it as much as I thought I was going to, but I'm still having a lot of fun with it. This gets my seal of approval. I haven't beaten it yet. There's a lot of content here, a lot of extra races and things you can collect and shit like that. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I think I'm just going to beat the game bare bones and then move on. I am kind of eager to just, put my whole physical collection behind me, so there's that. Not trying to dunk on this game too much, but yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Having fun with it. Still playing it. Haven't beaten it yet. I'll be talking about this one again on my second channel when that time comes. Last but not least, actually it is the least. Technically Cyberpunk is the least. Last but not least, Chime Sharp. What? This is the sequel to the Xbox 360 game Chime, which is this cult classic indie hit. I loved it. It's like a music puzzle game. I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's essentially a music puzzle game. I went back and fucked around with this thing a few times. This used to be one of my feel-good games, one of my guilty pleasures. Sometimes I just pop this thing in and play a couple of rounds. It's a music puzzle game. You place, Tetris pieces down on a grid while a beat line passes through. And when it passes through your pieces, it creates music while there's like a beat and stuff in the background. After a few minutes, the music ramps up. It's really cool, really good. Very techno-y. And, when you got all the pieces working together and you're getting good, it's really cool. You can play casually, there's like a timed mode. You just play for 2 minutes and then it's over. Or you could like keep it going on. Really good fucking game, the original Chime. And this was one of my guilty pleasures. I'd go back and just fucking play some, just to fucking play. Really fucking good. This is the sequel, and it's not as good. Not a lot of people played this thing. I've never seen this game on sale ever. Ever. Not once. I caught wind of the sequel, like online, and when it finally came out, like I bought it. It's very cheap too, for like $15. I bought it, and then it was on my to-play list for like so long. I think very at the beginning of the Xbox One generation, I bought this thing. And I've been sitting on this for this long, so long. Afraid to play it because all the reviews say it's just not as good as the original. That in fact it's outright bad in some cases. I'm here to report that that is true. It is not very good. Just the music selection itself is not as good. It's weirder and not in a good way. And for a game that's all about the audio-visual experience, everything audio and visual about this game is a downgrade from the first one. The songs just have no soul. Visually, they went with like this pastel color palette, to make things more easier on the eyes and accessible, I guess. I don't really know, but the colors don't pop. The user interface, you create quads, and then after the beat line passes over them, they fade away, and there's like a mark there where the Tetris pieces used to be. And that is called a coverage. Your goal is to cast these pieces and make quads, and then after it's all said and done, make it as big as you can. And after it's all said and done, what's left behind is coverage on the grid. Your goal is the ultimate goal is to cover the grid 100%. The game measures your success in your coverage percentage. The way the game is and the pastel colors and stuff, there's not much to distinguish between, an empty grid and a grid that's been covered. And just the colors clash, and it's just hard, and then there's a timer that's in a weird spot. Just everything about this game works against you, and it's just not a good feeling, and it's a huge downgrade, both on an audio and a visual level. So I went through and I beat all the levels. I do not recommend this game. If you've ever played the original Chime, or if you're thinking about maybe trying this game out because like a puzzle audio-visual game kind of sounds cool, you are much better off just playing the original Chime or playing something like Tetris Effect. This game sucks. Chime Sharp, it fucking sucks. Avoid it. And that's it. That's all I've been playing. Thanks for listening to me, bitch. Final goodbyes here. I'm not going away. I'm just sunsetting this channel because it's time. It's time. My YouTube career has not taken off. I've been over here for like 10 years. I've enjoyed my time with y'all. I've enjoyed making the content. I've enjoyed yapping. I've enjoyed documenting my gaming experience. But it is time. It is just time. I'm getting older, and I have other endeavors. I got my other business that's actually starting to take off, and I can't focus on that as much as I would like to with, my YouTube channel hanging around my fucking neck. But I'm not going away forever. I'm not going away forever. I'm still going to have my second channel. Again, links in the description. Check that out. I'm going to leave a top comment as well, and I'm going to leave this up if you want to check that out. If you need to see my stupid fucking face. But it's time to sunset this thing. And I don't like to say things set in stone, so I'm not saying, you know, I'm never going to do another YouTube video here on this channel, but if you want to keep me around for whatever reason, go ahead and subscribe to the other channel. I'm probably not going to make another video here on this channel in specific. But it is what it is. Time to move on. Time to accept some things. Like I said, I got bitches to fuck, drinks to drink, games to play. So I'm gonna be going and doing that. And if I'm still gonna be making some content sporadically on my other channel, every time I need some shit to fucking say, or my car gets stolen again, or what have you. So I'll be doing that. I'm gonna keep the goodbyes short. For some of you, it's going to be goodbye. For some of you, you're not going to be bothered to go and sub to another channel. But for some of you, we will continue this experience, and we'll keep fucking doing it. I'll keep getting older. I'll keep changing my facial hair. I'll keep bitching on the fucking internet, and it'll be like things never stop. And for you guys, I'm thankful for. I am. Well, let's play that last fucking cheesy ass fucking credits one last time. Keep on gaming, everyone. And no matter what happens, don't ever fucking stop.